A very good morning to all. Hello, dear children. Today, once again, your political science teacher, Jasveer Kaur from SKM Public School, is here to make you learn more about your fundamental rights. Till previous video, we have studied how our fundamental rights can be protected, how these can be secured. Our fundamental rights can be secured, can be protected. And to change that event only, I am going to tell you there is NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, a different type of National Rights Commission for women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, for children, for environment, national rights commissions are there, and all these are overall. This National Human Rights Commission also taking care of the different type of rights, and it was established in India for the major purpose, for the major goal to protect our fundamental rights as well as other rights like right to life, right to property. And one thing is very clear, this commission does not have the power of any prosecution. It can merely make recommendation to the government or recommend the courts to initiate the case, to initiate the proceedings based on the inquiry that it conducts, right? NHR only conduct different type of inquiries and can request the court, cannot give decision, pressurize the court that this are the evidences, accordingly the case can be discussed and can be judged, only advisory, right? And it is there, and under this there is PUCL, it may PUCL and PUDR, two type of these unions are there. People's Union for Civil Liberties, People's Union for Civil Liberties, People's Union for Democratic Rights. Such type of some more organizations are there. These are the major organizations regarding how we can protect our fundamental rights, how the well-being of the citizens, how the welfare of the citizen can be protected by that particular country's government. So in this way, this is related to our previous topic. And today we are going to start a new topic, directive principles of state policy. Directive principles of state policy. In short form we call it DPSP. As these are the guidelines set up by constitutional framers to guide the government how to govern the citizen of that country, particularly democratic country and vast country and having diversity like India. Because these constitutional framers and our political leaders just after the independence, they have to face different type of challenges, right? Challenge to democracy, challenge of unity, challenge of language, challenge of regionalism, challenge of to satisfy all the diversities within India. So they don't want that any coming government will frame any type of policy according to his their own convenience, right? They were like that, right? They were like that only. Coming to in future, they don't want any other type of political party construct or implement any type of policies for the Indian citizens. So that was also there. The constitution, they have kept in mind the future problems and solutions within it. Future problems and this within it, right? So that's why they have done this very practically, very intelligently, with the intellectual they have framed these directive principles of state policy. And what do these directive principles of state policy? Very very important, they are objective of the government. The government want to achieve these objectives for the well-being and welfare of the citizen, not only to any particular caste, color, creed, gender, sex ratio, proportional, but to each and everybody, that is liberties, freedoms, dignities, everything should be given to everyone, one and all that belong to this country. Keeping this in mind, these directive principles of state policies are goal-oriented, objectives. It has certain objectives that I have discussed, and another way we can say the goal and objective that the society should adopt. That is also there. Certain rights that individuals should enjoy apart from the fundamental rights, and some more provisions like fundamental rights till this type of things are there. They are free to form such type of organizations and unions for their protection. Certain policies that government should adopt, very very important policy government should adopt. It is only advisory. We cannot, or constitution cannot force government to adopt these directive principles of state policy, but it is the moral duty of that government to implement, to ensure all the fundamental rights and liberties, justice, equality, fraternity to all its citizens under the guidelines of this directive principles of state policy. But one thing very very important, these are non-justable, meaning to say we cannot claim at court, nobody can claim at court for directive principles at state policy for against any particular government. And we, our constitutional framer, have taken very much care and thought that it is a moral force behind these guidelines that would ensure that the government would take them seriously. Right? Morality is very high thing, is high morale is there in each and every person, even whatsoever government is formed, that people are there, human beings are there. Government is not any non-living thing, all the living human beings are there, those who frame the government. It is very clear-cut written and kept in mind that it should be adopted. Morally kept in mind that government did not implement a particular guideline. We cannot go to the court against to instruct the government regarding such type of principles and guidelines. And governments from time to time try to give effect some directive principles of state policy, like government have abolished Jamindara system, Jamindara bill, nationalized the banks, small industries were promoted, provisions of reservation of women, OBCs, SCs and STCs, different backward माइनॉरिटीज़ की सेफ्टी के लिए भी कुछ प्रोविजंस बनाई गई हैं, BAMCF टाइप ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं. एंड दीज डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स include the rights to education, also formation of panchayati raj, mean to say implement of third tier of the government that we have studied in our 10th class also, local government के structure को, panchayati raj को, because it is considered that third tier of the government is more nearer to the citizens, it is more nearer to the democracy, because citizens who are living nearer to that system, they are more aware of that system and they can implement that system very fantastically, very interestingly, right? In this way, this fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy. Under this directive principle of state policy, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is there, mid-day meal programs are there for government school children or poor children, and there are some fundamental duties also there. 10 fundamental duties are there. Although it is not in your syllabus, I am telling you, it is the fundamental duty of each and every citizen to take care the fundamental of rights of ourselves as well as others. A very small example is there. Suppose we have rights to walk on the road. Walk on the road. At the same time, our duty starts that we have to keep left, because the other people who are walking on the road coming from opposite direction, they are also having their fundamental right. No? When we are using our fundamental right, at the same time we have to leave that space vacant for them to come. One side is going and one side is for coming. So that is exactly same way give and take theory is there, and people themselves morally should understand all these things, then there won't be any type of conflict among the citizens. And in 1976, during that 72nd amendment, our constitution was passed. These fundamental duties, 10 duties of the citizens, and every citizen, very foremost duties, abide by the constitution provisions. When we say this, every citizen should abide by the constitutional provision, it embraces all the duties, right? Like you may have heard that while singing national anthem, what are our duties? We should be in attention position, everybody should stand and sing, nobody can have any movement, attention position like that. So exactly same way this is happening, this should happen, so people should take care of their duties as well as their rights. Now very important question is there, you have to draw some conclusions. Draw some conclusions about directive principle of state policy and fundamental rights, which distinguish both of them. In other words, you can say that what are the major differences between directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights. 5 marks का question, generally this question is asked in your exams. Okay, take care, prepare notes regarding that. Bye students.